Dances always make me feel good in the morning. I can still hear the music in my headphones. Now I stopped it. Welcome to Saturday, very special Saturday edition of Breakfast with Jerm. I'm streaming live to 0 viewers as usual because I'm just eating breakfast. Today I'm in my office, my 57 square foot office at Cohatch on Main Street in beautiful Lakeland, Florida. That's my intro for when I'm in the office. It's coming along nicely. I say the same thing. I've said the same thing several days in a row, committing it to memory and all that jazz, making it sound like an official getting distracted by my beard point, which is not even. Need to trim it a little bit. Official intro. I'm wearing the same shirt that I was wearing yesterday. 0 toots given. I don't smell bad. I have decent hygiene. It rained this morning when I was walking to get breakfast, so I got a little rinse. And I am the kind of person who, if I feel dirty, if I feel sweaty, I just need to shower. That's all there is to it. So I started trusting myself. If I go to sleep and I wake up wearing the same clothes and I don't feel that itchy feeling, I'm probably good to go outside for another day. I don't get too close to people. I don't give big hugs. I don't put my arm around anybody because I don't want them to smell my smells. What am I talking about? Why am I talking about hygiene and how I smell and how I don't change my clothes? Because I'm not ashamed to be that way anymore. I am not ashamed. I cannot be shamed by the hygiene industrial complex. I was just listening to the Checklist Manifesto audiobook on my phone, and there is a really interesting case study about how using soap drastically increased health of children in some country in Africa. I think it was Ghana, I want to say. And it wasn't that people weren't using soap. It's just that they were given free soap, so they didn't feel like they had to ration it. And it was nice soap, so they enjoyed the feeling of lathering up their hands 6 to 8 times a day after going to the bathroom, after touching animals or other things, before washing, before making food, before touching a child, after changing a child's diaper. Basic hygiene prevented 50% of sickness in a country. Giving people free, nice smelling soap. That was a case study in Checklist Manifesto. This book is intense. I'm going to buy it after I finish with my super listening at 1.5 speed. I am hitting the bookmark button when something catches my ear and I think I want to go back and write that down. Following the Scott Shepper method from the latest newsletter of Scott Shepper Letter, an excellent newsletter on reading, writing, and thinking and marketing. I picked up so many tips from that. It's been well worth the cost. I bought it for myself. I bought a year's subscription for myself as a birthday present. It was kind of pricey at the time, but it's been well worth it. That encourages me in believing that I have such information and potentially even wisdom to share with other people that I will write down and sell for cash through a subscription service. When I come up with something, I write it down. I keep it in my anti-net. I've got my second anti-net here. This one I call the Bib Decks. Bib cards are the bibliography cards As I mentioned yesterday, index cards are literally just an index of topics and where you can find the other cards. It's very much like a distributed library card catalog system that I'm using between my office and my apartment. I've got my mobile box that I showed on the stream from my house yesterday afternoon during second breakfast. So I carry that with me. I've got the alphabetized index and extra bibliography, and at home I have my vault drawers, those really cool card sorting drawers. I have a 2x2 and a 2x2 on top of each other for science, technology, engineering, and media, movies, more, and maybe math, STEMMMMMMM. And at some point I will begin pulling cards, compiling interesting informational tidbits, writing them all out freehand on a legal pad, typing them up, printing it out, redlining it, doing a final copy, publishing that for other people to read. I'm excited to share my knowledge and information that I've gleaned mainly the last 20 years of life, because I could say experience from 44 years, almost 44 years of living, but let's be honest, I didn't learn that much. The first couple years, it's just the basics, like how to poop on the potty. Very important thing for all kids to learn. My son is in kindergarten and I'm not saying he has accidents. I'm saying he does it really well, but he takes it seriously. The potty responsibilities of being a 5-year-old, because I assume 5-year-olds still, even though they say they don't really remember being younger, they gotta remember that a little bit. All those years, those previous years of pooping in a diaper, having to have somebody wipe their bottom, someone who used soap afterwards. At this point, I only have to clean up after my dog, Sheila. And I'm wondering why I'm talking about poop so much on my breakfast stream. I guess it's because that's what parents wake up to for many years. Many, many years of waking up thinking about other people's bowel movements. Goodness. Now I'm going to somehow try to segue into what I'm eating after talking about all that SHIT. It's a breakfast burrito. Breakfast burrito from Delicious Bakery in Delhi. They make great Cuban sandwiches, all kinds of sandwiches. They have like every kind of cheese sandwich you could want. They're just up on the corner. I gotta point the right direction. I got a pastry from there too, a guava pastry that I will eat after my burrito. This is the kind of food that I can't make at home. It's got eggs, of course, but it is a kitchen sink. So it's got all the leftover bits and bobs from their kitchen. Got some green peppers, some onions, some sausage, some tomatoes, all pressed into a breakfast burrito. This is my other favorite breakfast. Because I can make a breakfast burrito at home, but I don't have the kitchen sink worth of other ingredients. The little extra leftovers that, instead of throwing away, get reused into another item, another menu item. Yeah, speaking of menus, I'm looking at my legal documents, another form of checklist or menu or recipe. Let's see what we got here. In the Circuit Court of the 10th Judicial Circuit in and for Polk County, Florida. Notice of service of standard family law interrogatories. I got my interrogatories. I've got my request to produce documents, and I just have to go down these checklists, check off every item, make sure I'm providing tax returns, income records, etc., which won't be hard because I have not made any income in the last 4 years, except for the 4 hours of work that I got paid for my substitute teaching. Big news that I'll be talking about more. I landed my first substitute gig as a music substitute this coming week. I'm really excited. I'm super stoked. I'm going to do the best job at going into the classroom and pressing play on Reading Rainbow. No, but seriously, I'm so excited about being a substitute music teacher. I loved my music teachers in elementary school. I even have people who have known me for a long time, know that I have a pianica. 2 pianicas. One is technically belongs to Colin, my friend who I've known since back in the day when we both played pianica in the school ensembles and stuff. 2nd grade. At one point we talked about, as college students, we talked about doing a pianica band. That would have been funny. Never happened. Jimmy Fallon ended up doing it on his show. Good for him. Such is life. The only thing I had in mind to say when I started this stream was just that the office situation, it's costly, but it's working out well for me because I have these documents up on my screen. Got my desk. I will start filling it out. If I get overwhelmed or tired or need a break, I'll just walk out of the room, lock it up. I can come back anytime and it stays just like I need it, so I can work efficiently at any time of the day or night, as long as I have the energy to walk up to the 2nd floor, open the door, and sit down in my nice office chair. Christmas gift from my in-laws. It's a nice chair. I don't like that I can hear the doors opening and closing in the hall. It distracts me every time. But it's about 10:30 here on Saturday, August 23rd in Lakeland, Florida. Temperature is 81 degrees, 83 degrees. Isolated thunderstorms predicted for the next hour, and for the rest of the day, it's going to be a rainy Saturday. Should be a good day for filling out questionnaires, downloading documents from bank websites, compiling lots and lots of information, sending it off, so that somebody else can do their job and I can get back on with my life of living and raising my kids and co-parenting with my co-parent partner Danielle. Now that we've got the job situation, the work schedule situation sorted out, it's getting easier, and I think it'll just get easier and easier. For us, which is what I think the kids need to see to feel comfortable with this new situation where their mom and their dad don't live together. So yeah, again, I hadn't ever been planning on talking about this stuff live, but it just sort of spills out, and I feel that my channel on YouTube is a safe space for me. Better be. Or I don't need to put any conditions or consequences or any kind of authoritarian speech. No more authoritarians. I'm over them. Petty rule enforcing people. Like, why? Why do you, have you actually been tasked with enforcing this rule that you're enforcing? Like, is that your job? If it's not, just frickin' move on with your life. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. It's not your responsibility unless it is. Again, back to checklist manifesto. There's a psychology has identified the situation where people who don't feel like they're part of a team sometimes keep their mouths shut and just like let bad stuff happen because they know it's not going to be their problem. Well, that's kind of awful. But interestingly enough, the antidote for that is simply when people come together to work just to introduce themselves by name and task what they're there to do. That facilitates people working together as a team, helping each other out, having a little bit of empathy for what somebody else is going through in a hospital setting that can save lives. In an office setting, it just makes things nice and less annoying. What am I talking about specifically, you ask? I was coming into the office and my hands were full of my food. I didn't have a hand free to pull out my phone and use it to unlock the door. Luckily, some other guys were just being let into the visitor entrance of the building for some meeting or something. They're not members, so they have to be let in by the person who is a member of the co-working space. They don't know me. I didn't know them, but I guessed why they were there. I ran to try and duck in behind them, and the guy practically closed the door in my face. Closed the door on me. And I was like, hey, I'm a member. It's all right. I'm sorry. I know you don't know, but it's just let me in the freaking door. Don't close the door in somebody's face. Even if you feel like somebody's entering a secure space that they're not entering, what's it to you? This isn't Fort freaking Knox. This is a co-working space on Main Street. Somebody carrying lunch and wearing a backpack and obviously going in for some purpose is not your concern, dude. But people are afraid of getting in trouble. People are afraid of, if they're not the authority, if they don't act in the interest of the authority, the authoritarian, friggin', let me just go ahead and start saying fascist, because we're heading that way. People feel like if they're not enforcing the authoritarian rule that they perceived being in place, that they're going to be the ones who get in trouble. Oh, I better not let this guy in the door. So that was the start of my morning. I was kind of irritated. Starting to feel better. I might need to take a walk. I would love to take a walk. The rain stops. Sitting here downloading monthly account statements, going to each bank's website, trying to find the location where they stuck that feature arbitrarily. It's a waste of my time. And as a personal person. But, it serves legal purpose. It serves a larger purpose. So I will comply and do what I can. And so that is 20 minutes of rambling over breakfast. Usually takes me a while. I'm noticing a trend of the last couple episodes of getting warmed up, saying a thing, and then getting warmed up enough to blurt out what's really on my mind. That's the thing that I would probably have been hesitant to talk about publicly, but who cares? Who really cares? I am just another person on this big ol' internet, just like you. Communication is key. If you talk to people, you make less mistakes and you understand more. That's also in the checklist manifesto, as well as it is just common sense and common knowledge. So be kind to each other, be excellent to each other, do your due diligence to fill out your legal documents in a timely fashion. Rewear the same shirt if you want to. Who gives a flip? Just be a normal person. You don't have to impress anybody. You definitely do not have to impress the 1% or the rich class or whatever people who are setting the tone and the online narrative of the day, forget those people. Live your own truth, do your own thing, record your own live stream, live your own life. And that's my words to live by, completely off the cuff, on this morning's brain dump, also known as Breakfast with Jerm. Now I'm really out of time, so I'm going to sign off and eat this burrito and this guava pastry, drink a cafe con leche. Try to get through these legal documents, 9 pages and 8 pages, because this is what I've been procrastinating on all week. I mean, not procrastinating, I was doing side quests. But side quests sometimes have to wait. I love chair dancing because you just tune into some sound in the music, pick a track, the beat or the melody or whatever, and just move one of your hands or your head or your neck to the beat. Oh, hang on. Chair dancing is where it's at. Ta-ta.